So I have made it out to Sidra Riestra. The driving once I got out of the city proper was just fabulous, and I gave myself an extra hour or so to get here, and so I'm here a little early. So I thought I would check back in and show you the beautiful view behind me. Can you see this? So there's quite a layer of fog this morning. And so the mountains actually go up pretty high that you can kind of see behind me a little bit now that I've shifted focus. And but it's beautiful. It's just like the landscape is dotted with these little houses, and it just feels different. I mean, we have mountains and we have houses and mountains in the US, of course, but when you're driving around here, it just feels different. It feels like Spain, right? And so I'm really excited about this because I thought I'd tell a quick little story. So, last time I was in Spain, I was 20, I think, and I was studying abroad in San Sebastian, and that's where I first fell in love with Spanish cider. And so I was 20 years old. I got a chance to go to a sidreria, which is what I'll be visiting today, and I got to catch the cider from halfway across the room in the cup, coming fresh from the barrel, having the traditional meal with it and everything. And it just tasted like nothing I'd ever had before. It was dry, it was funky, it wasn't sweet at all. It didn't taste anything like the kind of apple cider I had as a kid growing up that wasn't alcoholic. And I just fell in love with the whole process, the whole culture, the taste of it. And so ever since, I've been slightly obsessed with Spanish cider. And so that was, honestly part of the reason that I founded the Crafty Cask. It was a little subconscious. It was a little, one of those things that when you think back, you're like, wow, that had a really profound impact on what I think about alcohol, what I think about traveling, because it really, at a young age, that taught me to travel through people and cultures around the food and drink aspect of it, and that it really taught me that that's a great way to get to know a culture and get to know people, is by really diving into what they eat and what they drink and how they eat it and how they drink it and why they do it that way and kind of what they've been doing, and so that it was a pivotal experience for me. And so it's really kind of exciting, almost, maybe 15 years now. It's really exciting almost 15 years later to be back in Spain, and for my first time since that pivotal moment, really exploring this same topic, right? And so, I was 20 years old at the time, and so while I appreciated it then, and I had a lot of fun then, and I have great memories of it, it was different. I was just young, and I was drinking before I was 21, and as part of the excitement. And so now that I'm older and have a very deep background in alcohol and craft alcohol, it's really fun to be here, and I'm beyond overjoyed to be checking out my first sidreria, and this time in Asturias. So Asturian cider and Basque ciders are very different. Not very different, but they are different. And I think the two regions kind of have little quarrels between them a little bit about whose is better, which is fun. And so this is actually my first time in Asturias. And while I've had Asturian ciders back in the States, I've never had them here until I got here recently. And so it'll be interesting to see if the kind of cider making process and the experience is a little different. And so I'm excited to go check out Sidra Riestra, who I got introduced to by my good friend Jim over at Ciders of Spain. Hi Jim, thank you for the introduction to Raul. So I'm excited to go meet him soon and see what we can learn. And it's just the fact that it's, 20 minutes outside or half an hour outside of the city and in this beautiful landscape here. Let me show you a little bit more, because if I come over this way, you can actually see the sidreria behind me. And some cows lounging. I think they're cows. Yes, they are cows. They're white cows. I'm like, are they sheep or are they cows? And so that's Sidra Riestra right behind me there. And so you can see that. Here, let me actually flip you around it so I can kind of show you better. Yeah, there we go. So this is kind of the cider house, and so we will be going inside soon. And the beautiful landscape, gosh, it's just gorgeous here. And it's funny, when I woke up this morning, it was a little rainy out this morning, and when I walked out my front door, I was like, wow, it smells like San Sebastian when I lived there 20 years ago. There's just something about the kind of rain and the smell of, you know, all the bread baking, and it really is. I mean, when you walk down the street in the morning here, it smells like you're in a bakery. All the bakeries are kind of up and running, and so it's a fun experience, and I'm thrilled that, you know, the Crafty Cask brought me here, and my focus on cider and my focus on all things craft alcohol gives me an opportunity to come work abroad and work remotely and explore different cultures of craft alcohol, and of course share them with all of you. And so, you know, while I'll be sharing real time kind of some of the stuff I'm doing, don't you worry, I will be certainly writing up full articles, possibly full videos, you know, things like that I will be publishing and sharing with all of you on all of these experiences down the road, so that if you find yourself in Asturias, which I hope you do, you'll be able to kind of come check out some of these places too and learn all about them until then. So there was my little story as I'm killing a little bit of time before I go meet Raoul over at the cider house behind me there. And I'm super excited to keep sharing all of this with you. I hope you're enjoying it. Drink craft, drink local, get ready for some cider.